time is running out and the pressure's heating up on clubs to get points and for us to win $50,000. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. That's right, it's Premier League Matchweek 33, and thanks to the NBC Sports Predictor app, we can win $50,000. We can correctly predict 5 games. You got to give them the winners and the correct correct score to take home that $50,000. Otherwise, you'll guarantee for a $1,000 prize, you can get the most points. 4 points right if you can get the result right, and 10 points if you can get that correct score right. Nobody won that jackpot last week, although 4 people were entering that last game with a perfect score. None of them couldn't do it. Boy, I would like to be sitting in that position, just needing one game to go my way for $50,000. Let's see if we can't do that this week. All right, so the first game here is West Ham versus Chelsea. Look, lately for West Ham, both teams a score have been happening in all their games. It's happened in the last 4, and there's been 5+ goals in those last 4 games. So yeah, West Ham, while they were kind of really good defensively there for a little bit of a stretch, they seem to be getting a little bit leaky on that defensive end, but they're still maintaining a lot of their same offensive power that they have, and especially since the transfer window and Lingard's come over. Meanwhile, for Chelsea, it seems like every single match is low scoring. If you remove that West Brom game where they were unfortunate there and got a red card, and obviously there were a lot of goals in that game, but otherwise it's just low scoring. I mean, even against City in the FA Cup, even against Atletico Madrid over across 2 legs in the Champions League, Chelsea is just, what they're doing is just really, really impressive. If Atletico Madrid can't score on Chelsea over 2 legs, if City can't score against Chelsea, it's really hard for me to predict West Ham's going to do it. I mean, you can say, well, West Ham will do it, but nobody is doing it. Let's look at the clean sheets up under Thomas Tuchel that Chelsea's racking up. Give me another clean sheet. Give me a Chelsea win. I'll say it's going to be 2-0. Next one we got here is Wolves versus Burnley. Look, you want to talk about low scoring? As Chelsea's low scoring, this one's going to be low scoring. 6 of the last 7 head-to-heads against these 2 clubs have seen under 2.5 goals coming into it. Burnley, there's now 6 points above the drop. They've got fixtures coming up against Fulham and Sheffield, but otherwise you look at their fixtures and it's a bunch of maybe we can't get a point or we're going to lose kind of scenarios. So, this is one where Wolves, I think maybe they can get 1 point, and they've got to start getting some points. Fulham is right behind them with 6, and yeah, as I said, there on the opening, time is just definitely running out. For the Wolves, they've won 2 straight, but albeit, keep in mind, there was a 1-0 win over Fulham and a 1-0 win over Sheffield, so while they've got 2 wins, it's not like, they're really lighting it up. They're still having the same offensive struggles that they've had since Jimenez, bowed out with that injury, so I see this one being low scoring like the previous head-to-heads. In fact, it's going to be so low scoring, there's going to be 0 goals in this game. It's going to be a 0-0 draw. Next one we got here is Leeds versus Manchester United. The reverse fixture saw 6-2. It was absolutely wild. And United, that's what they have. We've seen how Leeds has been leaky this season. Sure, Leeds gets goals, but they've been leaky. And United can absolutely punish that Leeds defense. They're a really good offensive team. And give United some credit. Their defense has been really good over the last handful of weeks. They've won 5 straight in the league and 7 of 8 overall. And 4 of those 7 wins have all been via clean sheet. So yeah, United is doing really good on that defensive end, and at the right time of season, as you progress towards the business part of the season here, as it gets towards the winding end. Leeds, they've gone now 5 unbeaten now in the league, and all those games they've seen both teams to score. United, they sit relatively comfortable. They've got a 7-point gap over them at Leicester, so I'll be interested to see the lineups. That's what makes this game so hard, is you got to predict the games all at once. I would like to see the lineup because United's got the Europa League going on there next week in midweek. I don't want to know. I mean, it's a 7-point lead over Leicester. Not comfortable, but there's only a handful of games left. I would think that United thinks that they're probably comfortable sitting in second place. And maybe they're going to prioritize Europa League just maybe in terms of either full game rest for players or maybe guys only play 60 minutes. I would really like to see this Manchester United lineup. Obviously, I do see goals being scored in this one. I do think both teams will eventually get on the score sheet. United have scored 14 more goals in the season. They've conceded 15 less. Give me United. They're the better team. I'll go ahead and say United 2-1 win. The next one we got here is Villa versus West Brom. Look, there's going to be goals in this game. I mean, flat out, there are going to be lots of goals, I think, in this game because Villa, they're pretty good in attack. We've seen that over really the course of the season. They've been a really bright team sitting mid-table. They deserve to be sitting mid-table. I think they've been really strong over the course of the season. Meanwhile, for West Brom, it's go time. It's go time. You're in the relegation zone. Again, there's only a handful of games left. They didn't get anything from Leicester on the other day there. So this is a game against Villa where they're going to see it as we can get points, or we have at least got to go for it and we've got to get some points. They were never really going to get anything against Leicester. I mean, Leicester's, obviously a top 4 team and one of the better teams in all the Premier League. So that was always going to be a loss for them. They got to get points from this game, and in doing so, they'll get some goals trying to win the game or get a draw, but then they're also going to give up some goals there to Villa and trying to push it and force the action on their side. So yeah, I've got Villa winning this game, but it's going to be a lot of goals. I've got them winning this game 3-2, a 3-2 victory for Villa. And then the last game is Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Leicester coming off that 3-0 win against West Brom the other day. The last 5 head-to-heads have been relatively even. We've seen 2 wins by each club and a draw, but recently Leicester's been dominating with the draw and the 2 wins being most recently in Leicester's favor. I hate that I hate games that involve Crystal Palace. They're just a tough team to figure out. They get late goals maybe against a Brighton and they could snatch something. Just really, really tough to figure out. They've only scored 33 goals on the season. I mean, just a team that's just doing nothing. Barely getting 1 goal a game. Leicester's only given up 37 goals so far on this season. I do think both teams to score will more than likely happen. Obviously, Leicester's the better team far and away. They're hunting for something, where Crystal Palace is just kind of flapping in the wind, just waiting for the season. And go ahead and give me that Leicester win. I'll go ahead and say it's via the 2-1 scoreline. And that's how I'm going to do it this week for a chance to win $50,000 over on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Go ahead and hit the like button if I've helped you. And as always, good luck on your picks. Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.